There's a lot of excitement in the room tonight, as there should be. Been a pretty big day in Youngstown today. Big announcement downtown Youngstown. Very excited about the substantial investment that's about to be made in the heart of our city. So before I get this thing started, I want to take a minute, and I made sure that I didn't put this in the script that I gave to Kim because I didn't give her a chance to say no to this. Can I ask all of the chamber employees, leadership, and board members to stand up for a minute? Let's give a round of applause to these folks. Another sold-out event. We're going to have to find Ed to add on maybe a little bit more for next year. We don't have enough room for this thing. So, welcome this evening to the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber's 4th annual family-owned business recognition dinner. I'm Tim Petrie. I'm the CEO of HD Growth Partners, friend and partner of the Chamber, and I'm honored to be your MC for the evening. I'm an accountant by trade, so let's take it easy on the heckling. Thank you. I have a unique appreciation for family-owned business in this community. I was raised by my aunt and uncle who owned a small motorcycle parts store in town, Youngstown Cycle Supply, for 50 years. My aunt, a school teacher, and my uncle, an entrepreneur, were able to take in my brother and I at age 13 and 4 when we unexpectedly lost our parents. They gave us a warm home, a warm bed, and as a result, I have a different feeling towards small business and how we operate and the things that are important to us in our business and in our family. Small business has been a pillar of my life for as far back as my memories go. As an adult, I've spent my entire professional career investing in, building, and advising family-owned businesses in this community. When I was asked to speak tonight, although I was a little bit terrified, I was honored to just be here, but it's truly a special privilege to shine a light on some amazing businesses and people in our community. As a bonus, I'm excited to be hosting a conversation with some new friends of mine on stage tonight that are going to be bringing something that is very valuable and exciting to our business community later this year, the CEO Forum. Tonight, we're proud and excited to celebrate and honor 20 businesses across 5 categories and present a special award to one in each category. These award recipients were chosen by our Family-Owned Business Recognition Award Selection Committee. That's a mouthful. Those 5 businesses are not aware that they are receiving awards tonight, and they didn't tell me either. So we're all going to find out together. In addition to the awards and recognition of these outstanding businesses in this community, we're also pleased to welcome some very special guests from the booming capital of Columbus, Ohio, Mr. Steve Stivers, the President and CEO of the Ohio Chamber of Commerce, and Robert Shenton, the Executive Director of the CEO Forum, who both later will join myself and Guy Coviello to discuss the expansion of the CEO Forum into the Youngstown-Warren region. As we get this family-owned business celebration started tonight, I wanted to share a few observations and facts about family-owned business. Running a family-owned business is hard, period. Work isn't always just work in a family business. Emotions and feelings aren't always easy to separate, and every decision can be intense and difficult. Keeping a business in a family through generations has become extremely difficult. 70% of family businesses don't make it to the second generation. To make matters even more challenging, there are 10,000 baby boomers retiring daily, and they own 51% of the family-owned businesses in the United States, creating a $10 trillion ownership and leadership transition crisis. In the 90s, approximately 12% of the total United States population was at retirement age. By 2030, the number of Americans at retirement age will be over 20%. You might be asking, why does this matter? My answer to you is simple: supply and demand. If you wait too long to plan for your future, you might find yourself in a market where there are more sellers than buyers, causing a drastic change to your exit strategy. These are all great examples of why the Chamber and its partners came together in 2021 to launch a series of family-owned business chats like tonight. Hoping to help our local family-owned businesses with succession planning and other important topics to ensure their ongoing success and longevity in our valley. They also launched this event to celebrate, honor, and recognize those family businesses that have worked tirelessly to ensure that what they and the generations before them have built will continue to thrive through the generations that follow. The words you will hear from our award finalists this evening and read about in our program are truly amazing and attest to that fact. To our 4 gold sponsors, HBK CPAs and Consultants, Retzel and Andress, Huntington National Bank, and JFS Wealth Advisors, we are thankful and proud that you support family-owned business and enable us to spend an evening honoring their success and what they have built. So can we please give those 4 gold sponsors a great round of applause. I also want to thank additional sponsors of the Family-Owned Business Program. Thank you and welcome to our champagne sponsor, Phantom Fireworks, which generously donated the champagne at each table to toast our award finalists. And they're going to help us do that in just a moment. So I'd ask that you find those bottles of champagne that are on your table and get those bad boys open and start pouring those out quietly. I was curious to find out if corks would just start flying all over the room when that moment happened. That's a cool sound. In addition to our champagne sponsors, a few other folks we want to thank this evening. Our floral sponsor, PI and I Motor Express, for adding to the ambiance and elegance of our evening via the beautiful arrangements at your table. Tonight's video presentation sponsor, Boak & Sons, for allowing us to put together the great videos of our finalists that you'll see this evening. To our music sponsor, the Youngstown Bluecoats, for supporting the marvelous violinist we have in-house tonight. To our friends and dessert sponsors, Nothing Bunt Cakes. These folks have stepped up in their guest. These folks have stepped up from the time they opened up in our valley. For those of you that have not had the delicious bunt cakes, they've been at every chamber event, morning, noon, night. I've had plenty of these. To our silver sponsor, my friends at Liberty Maintenance, and bronze sponsors, Krugliak, Wilkins, Griffiths, and Doherty Company, and Platts Realty, for supporting our family-owned business dinner and all of those that are here this evening. But last but not least, I'd like to thank and recognize those sponsors that supported the VIP reception held prior to this event that benefited the Chamber Foundation. AIM Transportation, Akron Children's Hospital, Mahoning Valley, Detour Companies, HSH Drywall, Humtown Products, Signet Capital Advisors, the Brilex Group, the Cafaro Company, Top Property Holdings, Valoric Star, Number One Cochran, who, by the way, if you didn't notice, they parked a nice little Mercedes-Benz out there if anybody want to take that for a spin later, and Window World of Youngstown. Can we please give all of our sponsors a huge round of applause for their generosity? Okay, so we're here to celebrate. I'd like to ask Mr. Zoldan to come and join me up on stage so we can kick things off the right way. So let's get those glasses out, get them ready for our toast.
When I was told there was a sponsorship that revolved around drinking, I said, that's for us. So, But seriously, it's events like this that make our valley so great. Want to give a congratulations to all the finalists. This really is a special room tonight with a lot of great people. So cheers, best of luck, and let's have a great night.
Thank you, and thank you to the Zolden family and the entire team at Phantom Fireworks for celebrating with us. So now, it's time to eat. The staff at the Lake Club will start to dismiss by table for the buffet, and we'll see you back here around 6:30-ish. Thank you. All right. Once again, good evening, folks. We hope everybody's enjoying their dinner. Thank you to the Lake Club and their staff for their hospitality and preparing such a fine meal as always. Now, as we've all settled in with a good drink, some coffee, and the delicious bundt cakes, it's my pleasure to introduce our speakers for the evening. I'd like to welcome up to our fireside chat Mr. Steve Stivers, President and CEO of the Ohio Chamber of Commerce. Some things I've learned about Steve over the course of the last few weeks as I prepared for this evening. Steve was in the Ohio National Guard from 1985 until just recently, about a year ago, including time deployed as a battalion commander during Operation Iraqi Freedom. After his return home, from overseas, he was awarded a Bronze Star Medal for his leadership. So I do think we need to just take a minute and get everybody a big round of applause. Thank you, Steve. In addition to serving his country in the military, Steve has had a successful career fighting for our state and country, serving as an Ohio State Senator from 2003 to 2008, and serving in the United States House of Representatives from 2011 to 2021. Next up, my friend Robert Shenton, a fellow CPA, an executive director of the CEO Forum. By the way, it's Thursday night in February. I see a lot of CPAs here. I don't know who's doing all the tax returns, Jim. Robert was the managing partner for Plant Moran's Columbus office for 28 years. In accounting years, I think that's like 274 years, right? Plant Moran is one of the top accounting firms in the world with over 3,800 employees, over 23 offices across the globe. And last but certainly not least, my good friend, Guy Coviello, President and CEO and fearless leader of the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber. Now, Guy doesn't get this enough because he's the one normally talking, but Guy's been a champion for our community for many years. Nearly 30 years as a leader in journalism at the Tribune Chronicle in Warren, almost 20 years educating future journalists at Youngstown State University, and most recently his transformational role in our community as the CEO of the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber. All right, now that we've done the formal part and introductions have been made, and I think most of the bundt cakes are mostly gone, let's talk about the CEO Forum, and I'm going to make my way over here with the group. We got these guys on here. Ready? Okay. So, the CEO Forum is a dynamic peer-to-peer network for middle-market companies in Ohio that connects C-suite business leaders and peer groups, or pods, to foster collaboration and education, as well as provide access to knowledge and research and data analysts on the middle market economy. Participants will take part in monthly meetings that feature 4 modules: strategic agility, scaling business and entering new markets, change management, and access to capital. Each meeting is facilitated and the modules contain asynchronous content from the faculty members of Ohio State University's Max M. Fisher College of Business. The program also partners with the National Center for the Middle Market on research, data, and economic trends. Now, I have to say, as a young CEO in this community, this was a program that I was immediately drawn to the first time that I heard about it and saw the need in our community. It can be extremely lonely and challenging to be a leader of an organization. From my personal experience, I had to go outside of the area to find a group of my peers to share ideas with. So now that I've got the three of you up here on stage with me, I'm gonna start things off with a little rapid fire session for us, okay? So we're gonna start off with the most high stakes question of the evening first. Are you ready?
Ready.
Yes.
Handles or graders?
Handles.
Graders. Black cherry chip.
Tim, I don't understand. Handles or what?
Mitchell's.
Thank you, Guy Coviello. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, next question. So you have the opportunity. Mark LaMancha comes up on stage and says, I got a new machine, Guy. I can give you the ability to go back in time and tell yourself something at 25 years old. So from each of you, I'd like to know, what do you tell your 25-year-old self?
So I'll go first. This is a family business dinner tonight. I'm going to go back 10 more years, age 15. The job I most hated was working in my father's hardware store, a single-point True Value hardware store. As a CPA, 50 years later, the job I learned the most from was my father's True Value hardware store. So customer service, solving problems, working with people.
Beautiful.
Mine's a little more selfish. I'd just say, buy NVIDIA.
That's fair.
I think first of all would be to put the Sandy Alomar Jr. rookie card in a nice case and preserve it. Go Indians. But more seriously, network, because that's not something I learned until too late. But the value of relationships and the value of networking is priceless.
Somebody told me early on in my career that your network is directly correlated to your net worth. I think that's a fair statement. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the CEO Forum. So let's go back to the beginning. How did this get started? Why are you so passionate about the program?
So I'll start. I came to the Ohio Chamber about 3.5 years ago. And when I got there, I looked at all our members, and I saw we had great value proposition for small business, and we had a great value proposition for bigger business. And in the middle market, we repackaged small business stuff and large business stuff and tried to sell it to the middle market. And I said, that doesn't seem to be smart. So we looked at the middle market, did a lot of research, found out what's going on in the middle market, this giant transition that's going on that you talked about where the baby boomers are retiring, there's handing off businesses, there's a ton of need for CEO development. And I said, let's build something. We took it to our board. We did a ton of research, decided to do it, took it to our board. Robert was on our board, and they approved it. Robert came up to me and said, hey, you know that CEO Forum, I think I know somebody who might want to run it. And I was like, oh, great, let's talk about that. And so we followed up a month or two later, and he's like, that someone is me. I'm going to retire from Plant Moran, and this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. I want to help make sure that Ohio companies stay in Ohio and that they're ready and that they succeed. And the middle market is so important to our economy in Ohio, and they are more likely to be family-owned companies, that I'm really excited about the CEO Forum and what it can do for middle market companies, but what it can do for Ohio, because all those companies will, if they're successful at their handoff and can thrive and do well, it's great for Ohio, and the money stays in Ohio, and the ownership stays in Ohio, and the jobs stay in Ohio. It's really important for our state, and that's why I'm so excited about it. And in fact, it's doing so well. We're talking about taking this nationally to other states, and our peers, they're super excited about what this is. But, I'm really excited tonight to talk about bringing it to Youngstown, because I think the Valley, and there's so much momentum in the Valley right now. Today was such an amazing day, an incredible announcement. Congratulations, everybody. That's a big deal. But I'm excited for what it can do for companies right here in Youngstown and Warren and the Valley.
And when we sat down with Guy and talked about the number of companies that fit the model, so many middle market companies, the focus is working in the business. And yet what we're bringing is that balance between working in the business and on the business, and those transitions that happen, whether it's in leadership, whether it's in generations, and with the focus on the business, the executive education, data and research, because we know how important that is, and kind of the influx of AI tools that are coming into our businesses, but also then the relationships. And that peer-to-peer network and model is where you really learn, and that's really what we think the big value of the CEO Forum will bring to the Valley here.
So what, about 5 years ago, the Economic Development Administration awarded this community what was called a GM Recovery Grant. And a team of researchers, as part of that, had called to interview me about the impact that closing was having on this community. And I said the emotional impact was significant. The economic impact actually pales in comparison to the slow, decades-long erosion of family-owned businesses. And we were watching that. A business gets bought from a private equity or from out of state and moves the business, and all those people lose their jobs. Even when a business gets bought from an out-of-state buyer that is retailing, and you can't move the retail operation, the wealth, the tax-paying base, the philanthropy is all now going somewhere else. And that interview was actually sort of the impetus of this whole evening. That's when we got together with some close friends at Huntington and HBK and a couple of others and said, man, we've got to do something about family-owned businesses. And then these guys came along and talked about the CEO Forum, and we started to realize Youngstown, if you look at our demographics, we have a disproportionate number of baby boomer CEOs and company owners. And so for me, it's okay, that generation of new CEOs, of soon-to-be CEOs, we need to help them.
And it's a substantial gap. I mean, we're talking about, decades of experience that are left empty in that transition. So teaching that decades of experience in a short period of time, there's only so many ways to do that. So, to your point about the peer-to-peer networks, it's a very effective way of accomplishing that. So we've gone through all the development stage of the CEO Forum and a full first year of programs. Can you share some insight on the progress of the CEO Forum and what you're most excited about in year two, and also bringing it to the Youngstown-Warren region?
Sure. So we've got 2 groups already up and running in Columbus, and that's over 20 different members. We think this area here has certainly one group that should be ready to go right away, and then a second group very soon thereafter. We have over 200 companies that are targeted throughout the state, but we want to make sure we take care of the geographic importance. So sharing the ideals and being in person is very important to these groups. We appreciate Teams and Zoom and video, but that in-person sharing that takes place over a 2 to 3 hour time period once a month is very important. So what we're going to do is really go very hard at getting that first group up and running here. And I'd say the big takeaway has been how much happens in that 2 hours when you're willing to open up and share. Doesn't depend upon your industry. We understand the confidentiality, but when you open up and share, how quickly solutions and caring takes place in that room that leads to opportunity.
I think what Robert said is 100% correct. I do want to emphasize that we have industry exclusivity in a pod. So you're not going to be with your competitor in a pod, but what they go through with each other and the peer-to-peer involvement, I think, is the biggest value. Now, I don't want to run down the book learning and the asynchronous learning through the platform that we have is really important, and they learn a lot of new things and get new ideas. But I think the learning that they get from each other inside the pods is really cool. The other thing I've taken away, and we haven't talked about this, there's really three important parts in my view of the CEO Forum. First is the peer-to-peer. Second is the learning and involvement of academics, research, and all kinds of new ideas. And the third is fun. We've got to make sure, and we're building in really cool experiential opportunities in every geographic region too, because life's too short not to have fun. So those are my takeaways.
So I would say that I see a lot in our membership, our family-owned business owners, CEOs. They're so focused on making the widget that oftentimes we're presenting them with information that they had no clue, and I wonder, well, how do you not know this? This is going to impact your business in a couple years. But I get it now, and so part of it is the data, the research, the information that we can share with our local, especially young CEOs, so that they can see what's in the future, both opportunities and challenges, and then help the locally owned businesses prosper much, much better. The other thing, and this is personal for me, and I've been here now 4 years in this position, and there's a few of you out in the audience actually, that we meet one-on-one regularly because we have nobody else. You and I talk once a month or once every other month with each other because we can't share these with staff, we can't share them with anybody else. I myself want a pod to where I can share a lot more with other folks and learn from other folks, and so I'm really looking forward to kicking this thing off.
I want to give you a quick example. So our February session was marketing meets data analytics. And on the marketing front, the person that was leading that charge is he was the first CMO for Best Buy. Then he went to Farmers Insurance, CMO of eBay, and then to Ancestry.com. He lives in Northeast Ohio. So he's got his own thing, but his big deal is how does the CEO, the CMO, and the CFO all communicate today using the cutting edge tools, whether it's your relationships, your network, or AI. We spent 3 hours, we could have gone all day, and everybody left there with a take home and some homework.
So the most exciting thing that I'm hearing about all of this is that I think that most of the people in this room can relate to this is most of my life in this community, businesses have been just trying to survive. There's not been a whole lot of time to think about, well, how do we prepare this for the future? How do we thrive into the future? It's just been, let's stay in business. Let's get past this next big challenge. Let's get, whatever we need to do to just keep the doors open tomorrow. But now, in seeing this room packed full of people and great announcement after great announcement after great announcement, to hear us start thinking about this as a community is, let's start thinking about the future. That's some cool stuff. That's really exciting.
And I think it's important to say the eligibility for the CEO Forum, you don't have to be a new CEO. You can be on the succession chart. It's not too early to start planning. Even if your CEO isn't planning to go anytime soon, get somebody a network and a bunch of knowledge that gets ready to step up. It's not like it has to happen only after you've identified a succession. The beauty of the CEO Forum is you're going to get somebody ready, and there might not be an opening for 10 years, but wouldn't you rather have somebody ready and not have an opening than not have somebody ready and tragedy strikes and there is an opening?
And so, Steve, we had a member recently where that actually happened. So there wasn't that successorship plan in place, and there was a tragedy, and the business is going to have a very difficult time ahead of itself.
So as Guy mentioned earlier, Youngstown-Warren Region has a very high percentage of baby boomers that own businesses or hold leadership roles in many companies in our community. What specific things do we envision that the CEO Forum can do to help develop that next generation of those leaders in our community?
Yeah, so I think the impact of technology is certainly here in this room on every different level. When I started my career, 1989, we had one computer in the office, and it was the little green screen compact. Think about where we're at today in terms of that and how important, whether it's our phones, whether it's our laptops, whether it'll eventually be the chip that we have somewhere, how we have to use that. So how do we effectively use that, but then also understand we can't get rid of the relationships and the importance of the network and the importance of the region. You might be a global business, but who you're networked with here and who your population is here and how we not only just build the population for your business, but also to support our communities is another big part of what I think is going to happen through the CEO Forum.
So something that we've been thinking about, and that generational gap and how we do things. So for me, in personal experience, so the term that I use a lot, my kids and a lot of the people that work for me at the chamber, they're immigrant or they're internet natives. I'm an internet immigrant, and I struggle with the internet. I struggle with the culture of online and technology. And so if you think about how AI, how cybersecurity, how all these technical things are impacting business, and we have people my age and older running those businesses, and it's disorienting. But then look at the other way too, and I see it with my kids, the people who work for me that are much younger, and it's too much reliance on the technology, and it's not the networking, and it's not the relationships. And we just had a conversation this week with a couple of employees about stop relying on the email, pick up the phone and call, walk down the hall and talk. And so now's the time, while there's a long successorship runway, hopefully, to start bridging those differences.
One of the things I love about the CEO Forum experience and what we're going to evolve it into is we're going to continue to grow the asynchronous learning library so that ultimately, not only do you get some basics, there's a drive your own experience based on the issues you're facing in your business. And not every business is facing the same issues. The change management stuff that we do is important to every business because there's some change at every business. But I think the growing virtual library at the CEO Forum of important instructional and educational materials is going to be relevant in some way to everybody. Not every course matters to everyone, but some courses matter to each individual that could potentially be in the CEO Forum. So I'm super excited about that.
So, Robert, you had brought up a concept that I want to just touch on for a minute, is the concept of the peer-to-peer network. The peer-to-peer networks have a great track record for being impactful to help leaders in business. We've seen successful models like this with things like Vistage and YPO. So I'm going to give you guys two questions to choose from here. Number one, what about the peer-to-peer network is effective in business transformation? And number two, can you share a moment in your career while where working through a problem with your peers allowed you to come up with a better solution to a problem than you would have on your own?
So let me start first with, Tim and I have a common friend, Connor, who I had to get a shout out to him. And I just wish I would have had the fashion to wear my Air Force Ones tonight.
Yeah,
okay, so, all right, so we got that worked in. But when you say that the common problem or something to work through, I think so many of our conversations start out, well, my business is different. And then when you break it down, it's like, well, your business or your industry might be different, but your issue is not. And so the workforce issue right now, where do you find people? I had one company that looked at it and said, well, we found a group or a population where they lived that they wanted to come to work. They would be there every day. They were highly productive. And so they didn't have the same challenge that somebody else had in that same pod. And it allowed that other person, that other business owner, to know where to go to target workers and workforce to help that, along with the training and the education. And that made that whole community more stronger as well as the business. And I think that was a really good example of kind of working through in the peer-to-peer network of sharing a problem, workforce, where to find it, and then a quick solution that they would not have got but for that session.
So the idea of learning from one another's failures, learning from one another's successes, and just having that, ability to just brainstorm ideas together in a comfortable, safe place. Okay, so what are the plans? What's the next step here? What are the plans to create the first Youngstown-Warren CEO Forum cohort? I know, knowing a lot of the people in this room, there's a lot of people that are going to want to be a part of this. So how do people get signed up? How do they get involved? How do they learn more?
Well, let me start by saying this is a partnership between the Youngstown-Warren Chamber, the Ohio Chamber, to do this together in the Valley. We think it's important to have a partnership, and so this is a partnership in the Valley, and it'll be supportive of the Youngstown-Warren Chamber and the Ohio Chamber and your business. I'll let Robert talk about the details.
So we're able to bring the administrative access to this and the content. So in terms of the executive education, the facilitation, what we're looking from this room for and from Guy is really the connections of who is that right first 10 to get going and get started right away. And then who's the next 10 to get going right after that. My colleague Megan is here tonight. She's got some other folders. But again, we're going to do this not electronically so much as that we want to do this with the relationship part, because that's what you need in terms of the trust and respect to be in the room for building this. But we've got enough confidence in terms of the market, the research that we've done, that this is ready to take off. And this isn't something that we have to push uphill. The ball's already at the top of the hill, and it's ready to roll down quick and put it together.
Yeah, and I think we're ready to start the nuts and bolts of the logistics. We've spent some time sifting through in this community who are the new CEOs that we've seen step into roles, who are the older CEOs that we want to target their successors or help them find their successors. So we've compiled the list, and I think the next step is we're going to be sending out letters to a lot of the people in this room, a lot of people not in this room, and really start to figure out who's the first 8 or 10 or 12 that are going to come into that first pod, and focus on that first. Let's get that up and running, and then every so often we'll be adding to it.
And we're going to be here. So what I mean by that is that I'm hanging out tonight. I'm here in market 2 to 3 days a week in Northeast Ohio. And so that in-person interaction is what's important to get it started, and those partners that will be part of that first group. And there's probably going to be a couple incentives and some fun things that come from that as well.
So maybe keep an eye on your mailbox for your golden ticket.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
Not that golden
Your handle's
ticket.
ice cream.
Your handle's ice cream.
If you are interested in learning more, you can call Guy. You can call me. My cell phone's 614-915-9903.
It's a real number.
It's a real number. Or you all have Guy's number. You can call Guy. If you want to learn more, we'd love to talk to you sooner rather than later.
You're going to get a lot of text messages from 330 numbers tonight. All right, gentlemen, thank you for your time tonight and your tireless dedication to improving our valley and this state. We give our guests a round of applause.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations on a great day.
Now, for the moment that everyone has been waiting for, the award presentations. It's now time to move into our family-owned business award presentations. The Chamber and our gold sponsors created these 5 categories to recognize businesses' achievements and work in the family-owned realm. The number of nominations submitted was overwhelming, and the selection committee, comprising of 8 people, not only had the difficult task of narrowing down all of these to just a few per category, but then to choose just one recipient in each category to receive a special recognition. I want to note that each of the 5 recipients will receive a decorated bundt cake. Those are up on stage and will be available to take at the conclusion of the program. It's my favorite award. One more important note to our award presenters and 5 recipients. We ask that you please remain after the program concludes for group photos in front of the chamber step and repeat in the area in the back where the buffet was set up. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to welcome to present our first award, the JFS Wealth Advisors Success in Succession Award. Mr. Louis Colella, Managing Director, Business Growth and Transitions Team, Wealth Advisor and Partner at JFS Wealth Advisors. Louis.
Tim's taller than I am. Thank you, Tim. I'm thrilled to be part of this evening. But before I start, maybe a joke. Tim and the CPAs in the house know this. The reason they're here is because there's a big delay in 1099s from the custodian, so they really can't do the tax returns right now anyway. Am I right, guys? So they're not avoiding work. They're just taking an opportunity. As Tim said, I'm a partner at JFS Wealth Advisors, and we are a full-service financial planning and wealth management firm with 90 employees, 30 seasoned advisors, and a supporting team serving clients all over the country through our 8 offices. We are caring, committed, and credentialed, and have been serving clients like you for 40 years. Most of our advisors are certified financial planners, CFPs, and many of us are CPAs as well. We're passionate in our service to our clients, and over 96% of them have long relationships with us. We focus on succession, so service is sustained and reliable. Beyond comprehensive financial and wealth management and stellar investment strategies based on Nobel laureate prize-winning research, we also have teams focused on business owners, like the people in this room. Our business retirements plan group works on plans and plan design and administration so that the employee stakeholders, our business owners, can save for their future. And our business growth and transitions team, which I lead, is also so aligned with our purpose tonight. Our BGT team, Business Growth and Transitions, focuses on assisting business owners and families in managing and guiding the value, growth, and eventual succession of themselves and their businesses in alignment with their overall wealth plan and life plans. This is our team's passion and purpose. Ben Franklin said 2 things are sure in life, death and taxes. But for business owners, it's death, taxes, and eventual transition of your business. Someday, you won't be going to the office. Tim, great job on the stats, but it's not 10 trillion in wealth anymore. It's 14 trillion that's going to be necessarily transitioned from current owners. As Tim said, over 50% of the privately owned businesses in the United States are owned by baby boomers. The youngest of the baby boomers is 61, and the oldest is, I think, 75 or 80. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen. Our firm has also founded and launched 2 chapters of the Exit Planning Institute, one in our community here and one in the Pittsburgh region. And the chapter's mission, along with EPI National, is to educate and gather owners and their advisors in best practices and collaboration necessary for successful business growth and succession. Our community, the owners, their families, their employees, and all the stakeholders of the businesses, customers, vendors, etc., depend on the success. That's why I'm proud to be part of this tonight. Exciting announcement on the CEO Forum, because it's right in line with it. So, it is a great honor for me to present our first award, the JFS Wealth Advisors Success in Succession, which recognizes and highlights a well-executed and unique succession plan that occurred in recent years. Please turn your attention to the screens to meet our finalists.
Our business has been selling Chevrolets for 100 years this year, and we're going in our 4th generation of management. Probably one of the oldest, if not the oldest, family-run and owned dealership in the United States, because a lot of them maintain a name, but they're not owned and run by the same family. But we're there, and we continue to operate the same way we did generations and generations. It's a situation where we believe in customers first, and we like to have, a smooth operation, which no tricks, no thrills, just the operation of getting good transportation and doing it correctly and honest, fair deals.
We've been in the Valley since 1951, so it's over 74 years, almost 75 next year. And we've been here the whole time, and it's been really a nice community of people that we've been able to grow up around. It's nice to see the friendly people around the area and the companies that we can do business with that have really helped us grow to who we are today.
We are a structural steel fabrication company. That's a combination of a manufacturing company and a construction contractor. We build big, large-scale erector sets. We do it for commercial buildings, manufacturing and industrial facilities, and infrastructure projects from Ohio to New York City. We are lucky enough to be celebrating our 80th year in business this year in the Valley. Been here the entire time, so it's been a wonderful 80 years.
Our business, Liberty Maintenance Incorporated, is a business that was founded by my parents, John and Nomi Key Frangos, and is owned now by myself, my twin brother Nick Frangus, my sister Christine Calicadros, my other sister Irene Kefilianos. The business is we sandblast and paint bridges. We work throughout the nation and Canada, and we feel that we represent the Valley, our hometown of Campbell, Ohio, and we represent the grit and the resilience of our Valley.
We're proud of being able to survive through many things. I say we've had some hard times. We just had a train derailment and somewhat of a small disaster down there. That impacted our business quite a bit. But we're coming out of that now, and our inventory's back to where we like it. My father, he was in World War II, so when he got home, he went to work, and of course we survived going through that. But the tough one was my grandfather. When he started it, he survived during the Depression. And nobody was buying cars during the Depression, so he found other ways to keep the doors open. We drove school buses and dump trucks and kept our people busy and fixed up all of the equipment and things that had to be taken care of and existed during the Depression too. So I don't have it rough, they had it rough.
It's really nice to see the growth that we've achieved over all these years, and I'm going to attribute that again back to the community that we have here. With the people we've been able to bring on board to help us grow to where we are. With the we've got people resources, we've got the locations of places we can hit all the highways really quickly, just take our product everywhere we want to. So it's a nice centralized location here in the Valley. Really good people, really good resources all around that help us do what we want to do.
Well, small businesses provide lots of challenges, and family-owned small businesses provide their own set of special challenges. We are actually very lucky. It certainly takes a little bit of luck to succeed and a significant amount of hard work, and you have to be prepared for that. But I would say one of the main things that I've learned is that you have to be able to take a chance. You have to find something that someone else isn't doing. I have a good friend who's also a mentor, who told me that most people think that what people are afraid of is a fear of failure, and when actually it's a fear of success. So we have been able to step out of our lane and grow the business and do some things we hadn't done before. Combination of construction and engineering, and it's worked out for us.
The feeling is gratefulness is what it is. We're grateful to God above all things. We're grateful to our parents who worked hard and sacrificed. We're grateful to the employees of our company who contributed. We're grateful to the firms and the individuals that helped us be successful. We're grateful that our hard work and sacrifice has also paid off. Gratefulness is the feeling.
I'm excited to announce that our 2025 JFS Wealth Advisors Success in Succession Award recipient is the Cubison Company.
All right, I was specifically told that I don't think I had a chance of winning tonight. So I do want to thank everybody that's been involved in Cubbins, the company's name is Cubbison. In our success throughout the years, this community has done a lot of good work for us. We appreciate everybody's efforts. I'm proud to be a minority owner in the company now, so it's been really good times for us. Here's to the success of the future, and thanks again to everybody involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. You know, this is what happens. You put too many accountants in the room and people start auditing each other and it just gets weird quick. I'm sorry. I was only $4 trillion off. It's close. All right, so just remember the number I said earlier, 70% failure rate for succession planning. So congratulations to everyone that was acknowledged tonight. It's an absolute feat for your businesses. Okay, so next one. The Huntington Social Impact Award. I'm pleased to call up to the podium Huntington's Vice President, Market Manager, a good friend, the world famous Mr. Simon Worley.
Guy Coviello's cell phone number is 330. I wanted to. Huntington Bank recently surveyed business owners across the United States. 33% of them told us they expect a transition in their business, an ownership transition in the next 5 years. Of those, 54% said it's going to be a transition to a third party. Imagine 1/3 of the businesses in our community were to sell. What kind of impact would that have on this community? Well, it's statistics like these and the one that Tim Petrie stole out of my notes that were the impetus of this event tonight. The Regional Chamber, Huntington Bank, our fellow sponsoring organizations want to surround our business owners with resources, advice, and guidance they need to be successful. And when succession inevitably occurs, we want them to be able to execute it with as much personal and community impact as possible. Businesses are vital resources in this community, and they're extremely valuable. After all, it was bankers, accountants, and lawyers and financial planners that sponsor this event tonight. That means you're valuable to us. That was a joke. You're supposed to laugh. The long days and nights, the blood, sweat, and tears, all shed in hopes of a better life for themselves and their family, has really made an impact in this community. To our Valley businesses, we say thank you. To our award winners and our nominees, thank you. Huntington has defined its purpose as making people's lives better, helping businesses thrive, and strengthening the communities we serve. And that's why we are proud to sponsor the Huntington Social Impact Award. This award focuses on a family-owned business that went above and beyond to support the community while leveraging their business. Please turn your attention to the screens to meet our finalists.
We're an IT managed service provider, and so what that means is we're basically an outsourced IT department for about 90 companies in the local area. We've got about 95% of those are local to the Mahoning Valley, and about 20% of our client base is charitable organizations that we definitely love supporting. What it means to operate in the Mahoning Valley for us is everything. You know, this is where most of our family has grown up and lives and works right now. So being able to help support these businesses and these organizations with our technical expertise and help them from a financial perspective as well means a ton to us. I was a part of Leadership Mahoning Valley this year, which has kind of given me a new perspective on what all the Valley has to offer, and really inspired me to keep supporting these businesses and organizations and make it a better place for, you know, our kids, our nieces and nephews, and the next generations.
We're a contractor in the construction business, and we do mostly exteriors of residential and commercial buildings, whether it's the roof, insulation, siding, gutters, windows, whatever it needs to be. That's what we do for the most sites. And we do a lot of installation, whether it's new houses or retrofitting old homes. Working in the Valley, it has a lot of challenges. The one thing we've been blessed with is we take care of the employees. They come with us, they've been with us for years and years. I would say we have, I don't even know what percentage, but we have a high percentage of multi-generation of employees working with us. So that tells us that we're doing something right. We want to treat them right. With that, the challenges also come to giving back properly of what our customer, listening to what they're saying and going from there. So driving this home, we need to drive exactly what the customer wants and doing everything right.
We are a 3-generation family-owned business. My husband's father started as a pattern shop. My husband went into making sand cores, and then my son took it into the 3D printing of sand cores. Now, a lot of people don't know what sand cores are. Sand cores are used in castings. One that we might relate to is we did the front end cover of the Chrysler minivan, so we made the core that held the space and then the castings poured over it. So we recently bought the Corns Candy Factory and moved our printers over there just in this past year. So our nonprofit is an organization that goes around during the winter months, and we provide warming items, basically outerwear, to anyone that's in need. We serve 68 agencies, and so we're working with 13 school districts now. Being here in the Valley, we know that there's a lot of need, and growing up in this area has been, I've been here all my life, so it just makes me feel like I'm doing something for the people where I live.
The fact that we help a lot of charitable organizations in our business helps it to make it very meaningful for us to provide services to those different companies. Also, seeing the work that they do in the Valley has been very inspiring to myself personally and our entire team. My daughter and I have worked with the United Way Women's United program and been able to help from a financial aspect and volunteer aspect with that program, and it's been very satisfying for me.
In the Valley, we believe if you take from the Valley, you have to give back. And sometimes you can't just reach into one pocket, but you got to go in the other pocket and truly give what's needed to be done out there for the Valley and for its needs. There are so many things. So Donna, my wife, and I, we have spent a lot of time trying to research and see what really needs. And sometimes it's not the most obvious need out there. There are so many needs we want to do. And we want to continue to give back in so many ways. And we appreciate all the people that have come forward to ask us, and we want to continue to help do that.
It all started when YSU offered us the opportunity to partner with them in having a 3D sand printer. And at the same time, my husband was appointed by Governor DeWine to be on the State Board of Education. So it's like the education of the college and the workforce development all came together and really struck him, and it just became our passion to pour into the youth and the students in the area. So we started giving these student-led tours. So the students would actually come and learn how to do the process of the tour, and then they would actually guide the rest of their students into the fun, exciting world of 3D printing.
Our bottom line is making sure that as many people as possible have the warmth that they need to be able to survive out in the winter time. So while we don't have the same bottom line as other people, we do run off of donations, both monetary and material donations, and that is what provides us the ability to meet the needs of everyone we meet. Just in November and December alone, we served almost 1,600 people, and the winter hadn't even started. So we've been out quite a bit.
It is my pleasure to announce the 2025 Huntington Social Impact Award winner, Hometown Products.
Holt. I couldn't be up here without It's All About the Team. Anna is one of our career ambassadors for the emerging industrial athletes. You know, when Governor DeWine asked me to be on the state board, it's like, how can industry, how can we help? Anna is our future. She brings the joy of, in a family-owned business, I went to work when I was 10 because it was legal. And I know so many other family businesses that the parents get them involved very early. But what we separated college is a great thing, but we separated the vocational and the academic, and we need to recreate that experience. So our call tonight is to create more of your businesses where we can bring these young adults as career ambassadors. We've done this all the way down into 4th grade. They are brilliant. Your neuroplasticity peaks at 18. They are capable of so much more. When I realized that I can't call them kids anymore because of how well in an hour and a half they learn my business, it makes me feel like, why did it take me so long to learn my business? But I am so proud, and we are so grateful for this award, not for us, but for our future emerging industrial athletes in manufacturing. Thank you.
All right. I'm not envious of that selection committee having to pick between all of these companies. It's pretty outstanding people, outstanding businesses. I feel like anytime I'm just near Mark LaMancha, I get smarter. So congratulations. Okay. For our next award, the HBK Growth Story. I'd like to welcome Mr. Jim DeCenzo, Principal and National Director of Manufacturing Solutions at HBK, for this presentation.
Thank you. As Tim mentioned, I'm Jim DeCenzo. I'm a partner at Hillbarth & King. I do not have any jokes. I don't have any notes. But those that know me best, my partners, and many others out in the audience know I love an audience. So I have about 30 minutes. I'll run through here real quick. I want to thank a number of people. First, I want to thank Guy Coviello. Guy came to me about, 4.5, 5 years ago and said, hey, let's put this together. Would you guys be interested? We jumped on board, and Huntington was with us at the beginning. And we were fortunate enough to have our CEO speak at the second one. And I said, what a great night to welcome, to honor family-owned businesses in Mahoning Valley. So Guy, the Chamber, thank you. I want to thank everybody who's here in attendance. First of all, on a dreary Thursday night in February for coming out, I honor you. I want to thank and congratulate all the nominees and ultimate winners tonight. And I think especially I want to thank all family-owned businesses throughout the Mahoning Valley and everywhere for doing what you do for keeping the economy going. I want to thank Steve and Robert for coming here. Appreciate it. It's a big day, as Tim mentioned earlier, a big day in the Valley. So it's great. One of the reasons that I was so excited about doing this, and we at HBK were so excited about doing this, is we just celebrated our 75th anniversary. And we started in Youngstown, Ohio in 1949. And we have grown to one of the top premier accounting firms, one of the top 50 accounting firms in the United States. And we have done that working with family-owned businesses and watching them grow. And it's, I grew up in Youngstown. I went to grade school and high school and college and got my first job in downtown Youngstown. I was fortunate enough to work with a firm that is based in Youngstown. And I was amazed when I first started at what I saw from the family-owned businesses. And the growth over the years has been amazing. I've been 37 years with HBK. I know that's hard for everybody to believe as they look at me, but I started very young. But the growth that I've seen is amazing, and that growth has allowed us to expand and continue to serve family-owned businesses throughout the eastern United States. One of the things that has always bugged me as a Youngstown native and somebody who's, I think, been so invested in the Youngstown community is when I see these national news reports and they talk, they always show the broken down steel mills and the boarded up buildings. And I think to myself, why don't you come to talk to some of our clients? Come and see some of these stories of people that have started in their garage and grown into world-class enterprises. And that's what I think we are honoring here tonight. I've been fortunate to work with some of the greatest people that you could ever meet over the years, from every walk of life and every type of business. And tonight is a night to honor them. So with that, again, I thank you all, and I am proud to present our next award, the HBK Growth Story, to a family-owned business that took its enterprise to the next level. These are the only notes I'm reading, by the way. Please turn your attention to the screens to meet our finalists.
P&I Motor Express and the Corolla family of companies are dedicated to providing a first-class portfolio of services to the metals industry of the Mahoning Valley, Northeast Ohio, and the United States and far beyond. The Mahoning Valley and Northeast Ohio have been our home since 1951. This area has provided us with so much, even through the troubling times, that it has become a core principle of our ethic to ensure that we give back to our community as much as possible. The Mahoning Valley is our home, and it will continue to be our home no matter how much we grow.
Our business has been around, this is our 70th year. REM Electronics was started by my dad a long time ago, and we have morphed from stereos and TVs to contract manufacturing of complex circuit boards, wire harnesses, and we also are a distributor of electronic parts. What does it mean to be in the Valley? Resilience. It's to be in the Valley, as long as we've been through all the changes of the Valley, it's proving to me now, watching what's happening around us and the Chamber and YBI and Lake to River. Everybody's pouring into this Valley that has been a survivor for many years.
We provide high-performance coatings that combat wear, friction, and corrosion issues for our commercial customers, as well as our nation's military through extensive R&D efforts. We are excited to be operating in the Northeast Ohio Valley, as this allows us to partner with innovative companies to develop next-generation coatings for both our commercial and our nation's military.
We are a now 9th generation down farm market orchard in the Mahoning Valley. We've been in the fruit and vegetable business since 1924. The farm's been in our family since 1809. We grow apples, peaches, blueberries, strawberries, and a wide range of vegetables. We have, of course, a year-round farm market, and in addition to that, we do many special events throughout the farm, culminating in our 8-weekend fall celebrations in September and October.
Due to the generations of hard work by my forefathers, my great-grandfather being the founder of P&I Motor Express in 1951, my grandfather's stewardship, and my father's current leadership, along with my siblings and I in the 4th generation of P&I, we have built a reputation that precedes us. That reputation has allowed us to diversify ourselves and create the Corolla family of companies, with P&I Motor Express becoming the keystone and the cornerstone. Without P&I's reputation, none of our growth would be there. So one of the things I could answer, the reason for our tremendous growth, is the hard work that has been instilled in all of us as we continue to grow far into the 5th generation.
I attribute our growth to our incredible team. Our employees have been there, some of them for nearly 50 years. They are really embracing change and pivoting to make us relevant as we move through this decade. And I think we also surround ourselves with very helpful people that are encouraging, and we work at saying yes.
Our growth has truly been a team effort, and I'm deeply proud of what our company has done as a family-owned business. I think the secret to the phenomenal growth is the unwavering commitment to our core values, such as quality, customer care, and innovation. And I've always believed that, you know, when you treat your customers like a family, it really does show in the work you do. Our success also stems from the adaptability and the resilience of our team. We're not afraid to embrace new ideas and technologies, but we never lose sight of the personal touch that makes a family special. We've built a strong culture, you know, it fosters creativity and also empowers like everyone in the company to take ownership of the role. And I think that's where we've really seen the biggest leaps in our growth is like when we all work together and with the support of our community, you know, you can really achieve anything.
We attribute our growth over the past numbers of decades to, first of all, the very hard work of all of our family and staff. It takes a city to do what we do on the farm, not only through the market 7 days a week all year long, but all the special events which we put on. We've been very aggressive in our social media the past 20 years. We attribute a lot of our growth to our partners here in the Mahoning Valley that have helped us, that have gotten us a lot of social media coverage. And finally, we attribute it to our community. Everything which we do on the farm, we try to be an oasis of calm and nature here in the valley, and without the support of all of our local families and local businesses, we couldn't do what we do.
Great, amazing stories, and there's hundreds of them like they're out there, so congratulations to all the finalists. Please join me in congratulating the 2025 HBK Growth Story Award recipient, PI&I Motor Express.
I guess as the other people, unprepared as I am, but I talk too much. My kids will tell you that. But very honored to get this. And as Jeremy said, my son that did the video, it started with my grandfather. And we're just trying to continue his legacy, move it forward, which is to work hard and give back where you can, pay it forward. And we're just blessed. And our growth is because of that and all the fine people that everybody said that works with us, because we have to work together. It's not for. So I thank you very much and do appreciate it. We'll keep going. Thank you.
Screwed that one up.
Okay. Well, that's you're an accountant. You're thinking about those 1099s coming in. Thank you.
All right. Getting close to the end here. There's still any bundt cakes left? Huntington's, they're all gone. They're all gone. Okay. All right. A couple of quick notes. I've gotten to work with the Corolla family a little bit with our work down at Youngstown State University and their athletics programs. Unbelievable support. Families like the Corollas are the families that prop up so many of the things that are important to us in this valley. So congratulations to PI&I. Also, one of my favorite fun facts that I've learned over the course of the last year is about White House Fruit Farm. So I'm a big fan of White House Fruit Farm, as many of you may be. The original deed to their property was from 1809. 10 generations, now moving into the 10th generation, was signed by Thomas Jefferson. So talking about generational family businesses, 70% failure rates from one generation to another, 9, 10 generations, pretty darn cool. Okay. For the presentation of our fourth award of the evening, the Retzel and Andress Local to National Presence Award, please welcome shareholder and attorney Brian Coulter.
Well, good evening. As Tim said, my name is Brian Coulter. I'm an attorney and partner at the law firm of Retzel and Andrus. We are a full-service law firm with an office right here in Youngstown, but also offices throughout Ohio, Florida, Chicago, Detroit, Washington, D.C., Western Pennsylvania, and Kentucky. I believe this is my third year now presenting at this event, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it truly is my favorite of the year, not because of the food or the drink or the company, all of which is great, but because of who this event honors. And that is you, the family-owned businesses that hold this valley together. Having grown up in a family-owned business and helping them every day as their counsel, I can assure you that you do more than just make widgets. You do more than sell a service. Your presence here affects the lives of everyone in the Mahoning Valley, whether you realize that or not. By way of an example, 30 years ago, when I was called up to the Little Leagues, I was just a no-name kid from Columbiana. I wasn't put on a team called the Tigers or the Dragons or something cool like that. I was put on a team called Graft Electric, okay? And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what the hell that was, but I did know several things. I knew that we had yellow uniforms with lightning bolts on them, which in 90s parlance were dope. I knew that I had Albert Bell's number, which gave me license to knock down smaller children in the baseline. And I knew that we had the fastest, meanest little girl on our team who, if necessary, would carry us to the championship. And she did. We beat the brakes off Sparkle Market. We silenced the trash talkers at Sheely's Linen Outlet, and we took on the trophy. It was the 90s. Everyone got a trophy, but ours was the largest. And I don't tell you that story because it's particularly interesting. I know it's not. I tell you that story because it's telling. It's telling that I stand before you now, a grown man, 30 years later, who frankly often cannot recall the birthdays of his own children. But I can tell you the corporate sponsors of Little League teams from the Clinton administration. And it wasn't just baseball, it was daily life. When my dad needed an electrician, he called my buddy's dad from Graft Electric. And when someone from Graft Electric fell off a ladder at a job site, they called my dad. He was not a lawyer, he was a chiropractor. And sure, that ecosystem exists to some degree everywhere. But I've lived in other markets. I've practiced law in other markets. And I can assure you, they don't have dinners like this one. They don't have ecosystems like we have here, where your commitment and your dedication and your loyalty and your families and your businesses are woven into the fabric of daily life here. You make the Mahoning Valley a great place to live and to work and to raise a family. And for that, I thank you. And in light of that, it is my pleasure to present the Retzel and Andrus Local to National Presence Award to a business that has all of those principles that I just mentioned, but is also one that has managed to develop a national presence while being family-owned right here in the Mahoning Valley. So please turn your attention to the screens to meet our finalists.
We are in the entertainment business in our own hometown, and how cool is that? You know, arts and culture has such a big part of the fabric of a community, and we get to create memories every day for the people of this valley. And so, you know, doing this in our own hometown is truly something that I just can't put into words.
Phantom Fireworks is the largest consumer fireworks company in the United States. At Phantom Fireworks, we are more than proud to call Youngstown home. This city embodies the resilience, work ethic, and entrepreneurial spirit that has fueled our growth into the nation's leader. The Valley's strong sense of community reflects our commitment to family and tradition.
Quality Switch is a small family-owned business that my grandfather started. We're currently located in Newton Falls, and my grandfather used to work at a transformer company in the valley, and then left there and started his own business and started supplying product to the transformer company, and initially only started serving Standard Transformer Company and then Westinghouse transformers locally. And it grew from there, and now we're in the third generation, and we're still growing, so it means a lot to us to be here with the legacy of that industry here to continue to grow and expand in the valley.
Well, our business, we started in 1978 with one employee, myself. So I did everything. I did the stock, the windows, everything. But now we've grown to 300 employees. We're based in the Valley. We've been here for a long time, and one big reason is that we have a lot of hardworking, dedicated people here that aren't afraid to get their sleeves dirty. So it's a great community, and we network with a lot of other businesses, but we're proud to be part of the Valley.
We do shows in 12 different states and over 40 different venues in those 12 states. But you know, locally, we started here, and running of those venues, we now have 18 years at the Cavelli Center. We have 11 years at Packard Music Hall, 8 years at the Canfield Fair, and now 8 years of Y Live. And our growth nationally has really helped impact what we do here locally, and that's the greatest thing. In 2018, we opened up our corporate office right here in downtown Youngstown, and we've really noticed that our growth comes from the Valley, and there's nobody, our workforce, the hardworking men and women of this Valley, the grit and the determination is really what drives us. So at the end of the day, we'll always be headquartered here in the Valley.
With nearly 100 brick and mortar stores, 1,500 temporary pop-ups, and 4,000 partner retailers, we are the largest consumer fireworks company in the United States. From California to Maine, the beaches of Hawaii to the Florida Keys, we don't just sell fireworks. We light up America's backyards, creating unforgettable moments for families and communities nationwide. Our roots here run deep, and we're proud to invest in a region that has supported us from the very start. Youngstown isn't just where we do business, it's part of who we are.
Our focus shifted to engineering and design, and with that we've got involved in a lot of industry standards. So through that the company has grown with a reputation nationally and globally. So we sell our product all over the world to 25 different countries, and keeping the leadership here in the Valley is something we've done because the industry recognizes the legacy and expertise that is still here in the Valley, and with the manufacturing base here, there's still expertise, and the reputation precedes itself. So we're happy to continue to grow and expand here in the Valley.
From our humble beginnings here in the Mahoning Valley, we've grown to a nationally recognized company, and also internationally on manufacturing. We have great employees. The innovation, hard work, and dedication of our employees is what makes our company great. And those people are mostly from the Mahoning Valley. We really enjoy being here. No matter how much we grow, we plan on staying in the Mahoning Valley forever.
Please join me in honoring our 2025 Retzel and Andrus Local to National Presence Award recipient, Phantom Fireworks.
Thank you, everybody. This was a truly awesome honor. To see all these amazing stories here is it's quite humbling to receive an award like this. So thank you to the Chamber and everyone. The finalists in our group, Eric Ryan and Rick Blaze, great friends, and to be nominated with you guys is special. So I really appreciate the opportunity on behalf of the Zolden family and the Phantom family. Staying in the Valley and being part of the Valley means everything. So we couldn't thank you enough.
All right, man, Brian Coulter, Excellent speaking. All right, so Phantom Fireworks, one of the absolute premier examples of entrepreneurship in this valley that has stood the test of time. You know, we've all heard the story of Bruce selling fireworks out of the trunk of his car. I heard another anecdote the other day about Mr. Zolden that his father came home with a gift of fireworks, and instead of doing what every other kid would have done and taken them in the backyard and blown his fingers off, he sold them and made a profit. And here we are today, the largest firework company in the United States. Congratulations, guys. Okay, as we prepare to close this evening's event with the presentation of the final award, I want to remind our 5 award recipients one last time, be sure to come up and grab your bundt cake, or I'm taking it home, to take as you continue to celebrate into this weekend, and also remind recipients and their teams and or guests and our presenters to stop in the back before leaving for photos. If you don't get a picture for Instagram, it didn't happen. As we come to the final award of the evening, I want to take one more moment to thank you all for allowing me to spend a wonderful evening with all of you. And for the introduction, our last award of the evening, the Family-Owned Business Advocate of the Year Award, let's welcome Guy Coviello, President and CEO at the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody. And in addition to picking up your bundt cakes at the end of this, all of the award winners, we have a proclamation from State Representative Lauren McNally for each of you. Okay, before we get to this final award, in addition to State Representative McNally, I want to thank some of the other state leaders who were in attendance tonight. We had State Representative Nick Stantucci, State Senator Al Catrona, State Representative Tex Fisher, and I believe we still have State Representative David Thomas, if you would stand up for us. These guys were exceptional in something that happened earlier today that, you know, made my 4 years here just the best day of all of them. They were helpful in pushing across the finish line an announcement that Governor DeWine, Lieutenant Governor Trussell, and Department of Development Director Mahalik made this afternoon, announcing that Youngstown would receive a $70 million Hub of Innovation grant to become the high-tech additive manufacturing capital of North America, or quite frankly, the world. So, David and your colleagues, thank you for your help in that effort. And then a plug for our next signature event, which will be April 10th. Please mark your calendars for April 10th. And at that event, we've talked a lot tonight about companies that have been in existence for generations. We're going to spend a lot of time on April 10th with a company that is not even a year old yet, a nonprofit called Lake to River Economic Development, a significant organization for our community. And we will have a national level economist come and talk about the work that they do and how it impacts everybody here in the Mahoning Valley. So please join us April 10th for our annual meeting. Also at that annual meeting, we will give a Valley Champion Award to a gentleman named Wally King. Wally King founded HBK in 1949. Wally is an incredible military hero, and we'll recognize that service on April 10th. And I'm told by my friends at HBK that every once in a while, Wally still drives into the office. So let's think about that. If you founded a company this year, and then at the family-owned business recognition dinner or at the annual meeting at this time in Wally's career, we'd be doing it in the year 3000. And Wally still drives himself into the office. Amazing. Okay, so our final award, and I am honored to present the Family-Owned Business Advocate of the Year Award to a business or an individual involved in an initiative that supported the family-owned business ecosystem locally. So please turn your attention to the screens one last time to meet our finalists.
The Builders Association is a not-for-profit corporation whose purpose is to promote and advance the interests of the construction industry in the Mahoning and Shenango valleys. The membership is made up of commercial and industrial contractors and then associate members that service the industry. I've lived my whole life in this valley, so it's very rewarding for me to be a part of an organization whose purpose is to promote the valley, promote businesses in the valley, and help the community succeed.
Currently, the business that I'm in, and we've been in actually for about 6-7 years now, is in cannabis. Prior to that, 22 years in the McDonald's business, here in the valley, and we've migrated now into the cannabis. And what it means to me is we're really at the cutting edge of something that is new to some folks and others are quite familiar with. And what inspires me most about it is it helps so many people. And not only that, it also provides a financial benefit both to the state and to the local municipalities from a tax incentive.
Well, Khalil Brothers is a food distribution company. We're a full-line food service distributor that's been servicing the valley since 1956. And we really enjoy being in the Youngstown area. It's a great community, a lot of great restaurants and businesses that we do business with. And we really enjoy being in the valley.
Operating in the valley is serving the valley. We've been in the valley since 2007. We are a licensed 48-bed youth treatment facility. We're licensed through the Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services and CARF. We are known for our specialty treatment and intensive counseling for our youth, our juvenile sex offender programs, and also everything is in-house. So all of our therapists are full-time. They're in the building. They have access to the kids all the time in case the kids need them. We have a full school in our building, 24/7 nursing, a medical director, and several other services.
To start and run a successful family-owned business, families make huge sacrifices, take significant financial risks, and it's, the small businesses are the fabric of our community, and the sacrifices and risks that they take are what inspire me to try to do whatever I can to try to help their businesses succeed and in turn help the community prosper.
I'm a stakeholder, and as a stakeholder, I feel that you have to be self-aware of the people that you serve, and if you're going to live here, you want to make a difference. And I think that in all the businesses that we've been in, we've made a difference. As an example, my son is on the chamber board. Many years ago, I was on the chamber board. He's an entrepreneur. My daughter's an entrepreneur. She owns her own businesses as well. And you got to care about people. And when you care about people, it's much bigger than you and your family. And if the valley prospers, is because of our involvement, our engagement, as well as keeping our talent, our good talent here at home.
We're definitely loyal to our local suppliers. Restaurants, we have several restaurants that we deal with in town, and we support our restaurants. We go to eat at a lot of our restaurants. And our suppliers, whenever we can buy from a local supplier, we do. We will choose them over somebody out of this town.
One of the things that's a deep core belief of our facility and of our program is to leave everything better than you found it. And that goes for people too. So when kids come into our facility, we're prepared to help heal them from all of their traumas that they've had, but mainly prepare them to be productive members of our community. A lot of the kids who come into our facility come from environments where they may not have the resources and the opportunities to be ready to go out into our community and be a productive member in our valley. So we take pride in being a part of preparing our youth to be a part of our community.
Our winner has been instrumental in helping the Regional Chamber provide more services to minority, women, veteran, and disabled-owned companies. Our winner has been instrumental in helping me personally to diversify the makeup the thinking, and the decision-making of the Regional Chamber, its Board of Directors, and its staff. Please join me in celebrating our 2025 Family-Owned Business Advocate of the Year Award recipient, HLW Fast Track.
I didn't expect this. I would just like to say on behalf of my family, our appreciation for Guy, your staff, your team, and what you do for all of us here in the Valley, as well as saying to the folks who prepared the meals and put in a lot of hard work so that we could stand up here and get dressed and look nice, how much we appreciate them as well. I'm extremely happy to be here today, and I'm not going to be long, but I want you to realize that when you're a kid growing up from Flint, Michigan, and drinking Flint water, to be here today, you like that, right? That in itself is quite a trait. But especially when you never see anyone that looked like you own a business. So for us to be in business almost 50 years is really quite an accomplishment. My parents were 6th, 7th grade. They never owned a business. When I went to the corner store, no one looked like me. It wasn't until I got to college that I really saw someone that looked like me that owned a business. But it just goes to show you, when you're given opportunity and you're given a chance and you have some tenacity, that you can be in this country still almost anything that you want to be. You just need to work and occasionally get a good break. So with